Hey guys, it's Flipping Genius Finds, and today I will be showing you some of the higher dollar items that sold for the month of November. Also, I'll be telling you approximately how long it took to sell $40 and above. So let's get to it. This is the blue Wedgwood Jasperware Ball Nativity Christmas ornament. The box was damaged. It was listed for $45.50. It sold for, I took an offer on it for $40. It took about 2 months to sell. The ornament was pretty much clean, in good condition. The box was damaged. You can see right here. Now, this is the Roberts adjustable knee kicker carpet stretcher. It was listed for $49.99. And again, I took an offer on it for $40. And it took about a month to sell. You can see there are some marks right here or scratches, but pretty much it wasn't used or didn't seem used. I did receive a positive feedback on this one. This is the Murano cut and hand painted Italy vase, 7.5 inches tall with a rainbow cross hatch. You can see there is the Murano sticker. It sold for $46.39, and it took about 7 months to sell. Now, I did list some of these cross stitch items. They were 5x7s, brand new, sealed. They're vintage. 4 of these sold within about a month. I listed them for $19.99, and I took an offer on these because an individual was buying all 4. So I did give it to them for $14.75 each. So it goes to show that you can batch up a lot of these items. This is the Maple Leaf Berry Bowl Gillender and Sons Vaseline Uranium Berry Bowl. It was listed for $39.99. And then I did sell it for the full price of $39.99. A positive feedback was given. It's in very good condition. And if you use a UV light, it does glow green. This is the vintage Sign Bjorn Windblad Rosenthal porcelain vase, 6.25 inches, scenes from a window. It was listed for $124.99. I did take an offer on it for $100. A positive feedback was given. It did take about 7 months to sell. You can see that they are scenes from a window. There's a Rosenthal, Germany mark. Here's the Windblad. Now, this is a vintage mother of pearl jewelry box. Wood lacquer treasure case, 8.75 inches tall. This was listed for $99.99. It did sell for $99.99 to an international buyer. It took about 8 months to sell. You can see the inlay mother of pearl. There are 2, what would these be? Phoenixes? Birds, but I would consider them maybe phoenixes. And then there are 3 drawers. So this is a Majolica glaze purple cabbage soup tureen with ladle, and it's 8.5 inches by 8 inches. It did have a few flea bites. It was listed for $299.99. I did take an offer on it for $179.99. It did take about 3 years to sell. Or wait, no, check that. It took about 2 years and a month to sell. So it did take quite a while to sell. Nike on field, Pittsburgh Steelers, Troy Polamalu, XL black NFL football jersey, number 43. It was listed for $109.99. And I took an offer on it for $65. It did take about 1 month and 2 weeks to sell. It did come with the original tags. This is the Babolat Pure Drive Rodic GT408. And it was listed for $279.99. I did get the full asking price of $279.99. But this was pretty much almost brand new with the actual case or the cover. You can see Babolat. And it took only about 2 weeks to sell. Next, we have the vintage 1919 through 1969 Oilfields Trucking Company 50th year double rocks glass barware. This was listed for $79.99. And it was on a 35% off discount and sold for $51.99. And it did take about a year and 8 months to sell. I believe I had the only one in the market. I actually found a pair of them, but I just sold it individually, one, and I do have one left. Now, this is the Despicable Me Minion Kevin Wreath Air Balloon Inflatable 3.5 inches tall Jemmy Christmas. It was listed for $59.99, and it was on a 25% off discount and sold for $44.99. It did take about 4 months to sell. As you can see, there's some wear right here. Now, this is a Cracker Barrel Blue Crab White Cookie Candy Jar Beach Nautical Coastal. This was listed for $99.99. I did take an offer on it for $50. I actually did have better offers on it before previously that I've declined, but this was in my store for about 2 years and 9 months, and I just got a little tired of it and then decided to just sell it or take an offer on it. You know, honestly, I thought this jar would go for a lot more than $50. Maybe not a lot more, but about like maybe $75. And I did previously have an offer on it for about $70 before, but the market got not saturated, but there were other jars. This is the vintage GSW Holy Water Stoop Zin Pewter, and it's signed. This was listed for about a year and 4 months for $79.95. And then it was on a 35% off discount and sold for $51.97. Maybe it's for holy water, right? You can see Stefano. I don't know the exact Stefano Jolio. I can't really make out what the last name is. It's Stefano something. You can see the GSW, the Zin, which is pewter, and then the mark for the pewter right here also. Now, this is a Click portable folding camping chair, heavy duty classic Q model, compact, and it holds 300 pounds. This was listed for $109.99. I took an offer on it for $100. I did receive a positive feedback. Now, this is the Holiday Barbie Keepsake Ornament 2019 Hallmark. It was listed for $59.99. And then it was on a 25% off discount and sold for $44.99. This is a TaylorMade SimMax 3 Hybrid 19 degrees Fujikura Ventus Blue 6R right-handed. It was listed for $115.99. I did take an offer on it for $95. It did take about a month to sell. You can see there are some wear. Ventus 6R Fujikura. The grip has a little bit of a tear. This is a vintage Luxe Decor Cat Xmas decoration. Victorian Kleski Cat Christmas Tree Topper. And it was listed for $79.99. I took an offer on it for $50 and it's sold within 6 months. This is the Bose Soundly Color Black 415859 Bluetooth speaker, and it works. It was listed for $49.99. And I did take an offer on it for $40. It did take about a week and a half to sell. Now, this cable is not the original. It's actually an aftermarket cable. This is a Tiffany XL Wisteria view of Oyster Bay stained glass panel art MMA 13 by 12. MMA is a Metropolitan Museum of Arts. You can see the MMA is right there. There's some staining, not staining, but some discoloration on the actual metal part. And this sold really quickly in about a week. It was listed for $129.99 and it sold for $129.99. And I did receive a positive feedback on this one. This is the beautiful vintage green Caithness Cadenza Studio Glass Heart Vase Colin Terrace. It was listed for $79.99. I did take an offer on it for $45. It did take about a year and 11 months to sell. You can see the heart design right here on the bottom. It's like a turquoise greenish blue. This is a mouth-blown art glass pumpkin opalescent amber iridescent gold flecks 10 inches wide. It was listed for $189.99. And I did take an offer on it for $90. It did take over 2 years to sell. It sold after I actually relisted the item. I delisted and relisted this item. It's very heavy. I know it looks kind of like small in the picture, but then it's actually quite big if you really think about it. It's about 10 inches wide and then 8.5 inches tall. This is the Vitaliano Pancaldi men's pleated silk necktie and handkerchief, Italy luxury. It was listed for $199.99. I took an offer on it for $165. It did take about 2.5 weeks to sell. You can see it still came in its own box. This is a J. Strongwater Medallion Christmas Holiday Ornament with Swarovski crystals. This was listed for $179.99. I did take an offer on it for $300. I got an offer within a day and I decided to just take the offer. This is a Bosch MUZ 5NV3 pasta attachment. The spaghetti chrome steel. It was listed for $59.99. And it sold for $59.99. It took about a month to sell. This is a Ping B90 Carson USA long putter, 45.5 split grip steel shaft, and is left-handed. I listed it for $199.99. I did take an offer on it for $170. I did receive a positive feedback on this one. Now, this is a Crumless, the Palace of Westminster hinge trinket pill box England. It was listed for $99.95. It was on a 35% off discount and sold for $64.97. I did receive a positive feedback on this one. Hand painted in enamel, and then it's made in England, Crumless and Company. This is the Thin Crystal Bohemia Double Old Fashioned Whiskey Glass, Czech Republic. They were a multi-quantity item, and I did sell 4 of them for $50. I did receive a positive feedback on this one. This is a resin camel head sculpture wall mount, faux hand carved wood, 13-inch oak finish, and it was listed for $157.95. And it was on a 35% off discount and sold for $102.67. This actually just reminds me of the camel. You know, the Joe Camel. This is the Funko Harry Potter 2019 Advent Calendar. Pocket Pop, 24 pieces. Figures sealed. It was listed for $64.95. And it was on a 35% off discount and sold for $42.22. It did take about a year and 9 months to sell. This is the K-Line O-Gauge Coca-Cola powered unit set plus lighted car. It was listed for $49.99. I did take an offer on it for $40. It did take about a week to sell. 2002. Now, this is a vintage Midwest Cannon Falls Santa's reindeer cast iron stocking hanger holder. Now, this is what I call maybe a sleeper, a bolo sleeper, because a lot of people don't know that this is worth money. These will sell at Christmas time. Oftentimes, if you can get a lot of, 7 or more, people like to put like 7 reindeers, Santa's reindeer with the Santa. So if you can get like 7, they may go for maybe 100 plus 200, close, depending on the condition, etc., and the time. Because in Christmas, these will sell. I listed this for $59.99. I took an offer on it for $40. It did take 2 months to sell, but this is because it's near Christmas time. Although these will sell all year round, people are trying to fill up their sets during Christmas time. Also, because they're just hangers. Most of the time, the thrift stores really don't realize that these have value. They'll often, put it at a low price as other stocking hangers. This is the LGB 20540 G-Scale Christmas Santa Train Steam Local Passenger Set with box and reed. This was listed for $479.99. I did take an offer on it for $300. This took about 8 months to sell, I believe. I did actually have to delist it and relist it. It does actually help to have a video of a working model. Now, this is a Mackenzie Childs Circus Polka Dot Tulip Tumblers, 1991, a set of 2. It was listed for $179.99. It was on a 30% off discount and sold for $125.99. You can see the Mackenzie Childs Limited 1991. These are all hand painted, and sometimes you have these imperfections, you would say, but these are actually all hand painted. You can see there's some bubbles in here. Now, this is a 2007 rare Irwin doll baby surreal in original box, 16 inches with black hair. This was listed for $124.99. I did take an offer on it for $100. I still left the price tag. It was for like $12.99. I'm not sure if this what the sticker is from, like a Big Lots or like a what store this is from. But you can see the original sticker was for $12.99 and it sold for $100 because it's a vintage or close to vintage item. Still in the box. This is an antique Meissen porcelain cobalt blue and gold floral saucer porcelain 5 3/4 inches. It was listed for, actually, it was on an auction for $349.99. It got one bid and sold for $349.99. You can see it's all hand painted with the double cross swords, Meissen mark, hand painted flowers. Not that big, only about 6 inches. A pair of Williams Sonoma Wilshire jewel cut water goblet, red glass style 1. It was listed for $59.99. It was on a 25% off discount and sold for $44.99. And I put used and in fair condition. You can see there is manufacturing defect right here. There's a little bit of a peel in the glasses. Now, this is the Bosch professional pasta attachment, and this is a lasagna attachment. The previous one was the spaghetti attachment, but this is the lasagna. And it took about a month to sell. I took an offer on it for $40. This is a vintage MCM Black Panther ceramic lamp votive, 19 inches by 6.5 by 6.5. It was listed for $89.95, and it was on a 35% off discount and sold for $58.47. And it did take about a year and 5 months to sell. This is the Michael Aram silver tone chrome heart picture frame, holds a 5x7 insert. It was listed for $79.95. And I did take an offer on it for $42. It did take about a year and 10 months to sell. They are a heart frame 5x7. Originally, it's like $95. This is the Edo Kiriko Kagami Blue Crystal Rock Glass Drape and Basket Weave, 3.5 inches tall. These are cut glass. Very intricate and very beautiful design. For a single glass, it was listed for $89.99. I took an offer on it for $65. It did take about a year and 5 months to sell. You can see the very nice design. It's cut glass. You can see the Kagami logo, sticker label. Also, you can see the Kagami etched in the glass itself. Now, these are sun-dried flowers in a frame One's a 7x6 and the other is 9¼ inches. They were on a 35% off discount and sold together for $49.40 to the same buyer. They do have a convex bubble glass. Here's the glass right here. You can see that it's convex and it's a bubble glass. Here too, it's a bubble glass. It did take about 5 months to sell. Now, this is a Ladies Ping Serene Crazy E2 Mallet Putter Black Dot Silver Purple 32½ inches right-handed. It was listed for $89.99. I did take an offer on it for $65. You can see there's a blemish on the grip. And this is where the Goodwill sticker was on. And these days they use a very highly sticky adhesive. And it makes these blemishes on the actual items. Now, this is a canary yellow cut to clear crystal whiskey lowball glass tumbler, 4¼ inches tall. It was listed for $109.99. And I took an offer on it for $82.49. It was an international sale. It took about 5 months. Take a look at the video. It is a very nice and heavy glass, and it was an international sale. So this is a pair of Williams-Sonoma Wilshire Jewel Cut Water Goblet, red glass style number 3, and it was listed for $59.99. It was on a 25% off discount and sold for $44.99. The other style, the other pair sold, and I guess as soon as that sells, the algorithm pushes similar items, and this actually happened to sell. So it did take about 4 months to sell. Yeah, these holiday colors, the red or green, they sell in Christmas time or near Christmas time. So this is the Waterford Gin's Journey Lismore Crystal Balloon Oversized Glass. And this was listed for $99.99 on multiple quantity. Now, I did sell one of these glasses for $76, but the buyer actually had a mistake on the address. It was on their old address, and it was actually returned back to me. And this is the second time they bought this glass, but they happened to buy another one with this glass. So it was actually a matching pair. So the total was $156 for a pair of glasses. And it did take about a month, actually less than a month to sell. It took about 3 weeks to sell. And these are balloon glasses, 7½ inches tall. You can see the pattern right here. And these were pretty much in excellent condition. Now, this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the board game, 2016 Jasco New. And it was listed for $59.99. It was on a 20% off discount and sold for $47.99. It did take about a year and 2 months to sell. It's still in its cellophane, pretty much in very good, excellent condition. There is a tear on the cellophane right here. This is a Lynn Chase Jaguar Jungle 10 7/8 inches dinner plate with 24 karat gold. This was listed for $150. I took an offer on it for $115. I did receive a positive feedback. It did take about a week to sell. There is a little bit of chipping on the bottom, more of a manufacturing defect. And then a little bit of scuffing right here on this part right here. This is the Monty Python's Holy Grail Ale Beer Tap Handle. And it was listed for $189.99. I did take an offer on it for $110. It did take about a month to sell. Now, this was the item that really surprised me. This is a Wendt and Kuhn Madonna richly painted burgundy pale blue as is. Read the description. And it was listed for $299.99. And it sold within a day at the full asking price. Now, when I listed this item, I did get an offer on it for $200. There is a story to this item. It was at the Goodwill. It was being carted out, and if you take a look at the photo right here, there's supposed to be a baby Jesus on this arm right here. And I believe that this item was at the Goodwill, the baby Jesus. However, it was broken, and then I didn't at the time think that it was part of it. And I did not know that this was a highly expensive item. If you look at right here, Wendt and Kuhn, the mark right here, the sticker is what gives it really its value. And again, I did not know that this was a highly expensive item. You can see there's a little bit of paint chipping. Jesus is missing, paint chipping right here. Now, these do come in different colors. This pale blue is, I think, what's coveted right here. Because this is all hand painted. And the one in red actually goes for a lower dollar amount, like $80, I believe. This pale blue, I only saw one in the not eBay, the American eBay. It was in the German eBay listings, and it was listed for like $800. But I was thinking, like, well, this baby Jesus is missing. I didn't really see a sold really comp. So I just listed it for $299.99. As soon as I listed it, someone sent an offer about an hour later for $200. And as I was contemplating it, whether to accept it or maybe I should, check the value of the item, etc. They just bought it outright for $299.99. So this sold within like less than a day. It was to an international buyer because the baby Jesus was missing and it was like kind of had some of these chipping. That's why I decided to list it for $299.99. However, I think it might have been a mistake. I probably could have listed it for more even without the Jesus. And the funny thing is, the Jesus was in the actual cart that was being brought out with the lady or the Madonna. It's just that I did not know it was part of it at the time. And by the time you go back to look for it, etc., it's the next day, etc., and it's already gone. And you can't, find it anymore. And that's the story on this. So quite possibly I could have gotten a whole lot more for it if I had taken the baby Jesus with it. But unfortunately, I did not. Now, this is a pair of MCM cast iron owl bookends, Japan, $159.99. It was listed for. I took an offer on it for $144. And it did take about 2 months to sell. Now, I'm probably going to take a loss on this item because I shipped it to the wrong buyer. I got the labels mixed up, and the person who was supposed to get this owl got the mug, and the person who was supposed to get the mug got the owl bookends instead. Basically, the person who got the mug reached out to me and said, "Hey, you made a mistake. This is not what I purchased, etc." So I did reach out to the buyers and trying to, get the correct items to each buyer. I messaged the buyer several times and I could not get the response from the buyer. And so I'm probably taking a hit on this, even though it sold for $144. I really do believe the other buyer who bought the bookends, the owl bookends, they really wanted the item. Actually, it was a gift for her daughter, but there's nothing that I can do really to get it back. So I'm taking a loss on this one. Fortunately, the buyer of the bookends or the owls was very understanding and kind, I would say. Yeah, it does happen sometimes. If the item is of higher value that the buyer purchased, sometimes you don't get it back. That's just the way it is. If it's of a lower value, I'm pretty sure that the person who purchased the mug would have sent it back or wanted their mug instead for an exchange. It happens to be that this item that was purchased is a much higher value than the mug itself. So it is what it is. Now, this is a vintage Martin and Frères 1 liter pink soda bottle as is. It was listed for $79.99. And then it was on a 40% off discount and sold for $47.99. It took about 2 years and 6 months to sell. You can see some of the flashing on the glass is wearing off. Right here. Gezifiri. Now, this is the Vintage Samurai Swords Game Master Series by Milton Bradley board game, and it's complete. It was listed for $89.99. It was on a 10% off discount and sold for $80.99. I did receive a positive feedback on this one. Now, this was actually a doozy to count all the pieces for the listing. Check to see if everything is there. Sometimes it's very hard to figure out if everything is there, even with the the booklet that shows the pieces that are supposed to be inside. The thing is, this ninja was not listed in the booklet. Like in the booklet, it gives you the number of items that are in the actual playset, but I did not see it in the listing. Certain games have like different editions. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but this ninja was not in the official booklet. And then I did check like other listings in the internet on eBay to see, and that was inside there. But everything there is complete, and there were some extra pieces right here. And I did receive a positive feedback on this one, but it did take a lot of hours. Not a lot of hours, maybe like about an hour or something, like to check up all the pieces, etc. So even though it was a high profit, it did take a while to figure everything out and check all the pieces. This is a sign, Medina Art Glass Malta, blue, white, black, swirl, organic glass bowl, 6.5 inches. It was listed for $64.95. And I did take an offer on it for $48.71. And it did take 1 year and 3 months to sell. This is the Gurkha K Hansota. and Co. Black Dragon Crystals Cigar Ashtray as is. It was listed for $89.99. And I took an offer on it for $45. It did take about 11 months to sell. You can see the intricate dragon design. It does have chipping on here, which was mentioned. This is a very heavy ashtray. This is a Villeroy and Boch French Garden Florence extra large 17-inch serving platter. I listed it for $79.99, and I did take an offer on it for $50. It did take 7 months to sell. You can see the beautiful fruit pieces around the dish. The Villeroy and Boch French Garden Florence Country Collection. It did have the original box with it. However, the box was damaged. This is the vintage Rochester Folk Art Guild New York Studio Art glass signed vase, 8 inches tall, 1980s. This was listed for $154.95, and then it did sell for $86, and it was an international buyer. It did take about a year and 2 months to sell. You can see the leaves right here, almost translucent, transparent. It is signed right here. Culver 320 candy canes, 14 ounces, old-fashioned glasses, set of 4, and it's hard to find, and it's vintage. It was listed for $79.99, and I did take an offer on it for $65. And then this was listed about for 8 months, I believe, and then I did take it off the listing, and then I did relist it. It had the original box with it. 320 candy canes, Culver glass, mid-century modern. And that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.